Skill 5. Resolving Coworker Conflict. Pick your battles and focus on shared goals to referee disputes effectively. As much as you want to supervise people who get along well all the time, the harsh truth is conflicts will erupt. And when they do, it's not necessarily your job to intervene. In many cases, the best way to deal with bickering employees is to adopt a hands-off policy. Keep your distance. Let them resolve their own issues. If you rush to referee every conflict, you may wind up breeding more conflicts. Employees may figure that they can get your attention by butting heads with a coworker, so conflicts can multiply. What's worse, your quick intervention to settle conflicts teaches employees that they need not take responsibility for getting along on their own. Apply this test to determine whether to intervene in an employee conflict. Does the conflict threaten the ability of employees to perform their jobs? Are the combatants prone to violence? Does the conflict involve serious allegations relating to, say, harassment, prejudice, or major theft? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then you need to resolve the dispute. Defusing conflict requires skill and diplomacy, in part because your interest and your employees' interests often clash. Your goal is to reach a positive outcome so that the employees in conflict learn to get along, or at least stay out of each other's way. But many employees want you to play judge and jury, to study the cause of the conflict and assign blame to their adversary. In short, they are more intent on defending themselves while you simply want them to work together with civility. Here are some guidelines to resolve conflicts effectively. Hear both sides together. Call a meeting and require both employees to attend. Tell them in advance that you'll ask them to summarize the conflict, their role in it, and their suggestions for resolving it. Begin the meeting by establishing ground rules. No interrupting, bickering, or other outbursts. There's a reason for gathering everyone in the same room to air out grievances. You don't want to referee based on information you collect piecemeal from each employee behind closed doors. There is an exception. If you're investigating highly sensitive allegations that raise privacy concerns, you may need to meet privately with each individual. Control the conversation. Make sure the employees talk to you at all times, not each other. If they violate that rule, interrupt immediately so they don't start arguing. Position yourself as mediator. Direct employees' eye contact to you, not each other. Sit between them so that they can't visually ignore you and engage in a hostile stare-down with each other. By having them sit at a 45-degree angle to your right and left, with you in the center, you lower the odds they'll lapse into a screaming match. Keep the area between each of you clear. Don't use a table. That way, they cannot slam things or pound their fists on the desk. Listen without reacting. Maintain a dispassionate, focused expression while employees talk to you. Keep your opinions to yourself. Resist the urge to nod sympathetically, shake your head in dismay, or otherwise indicate that you agree or disagree with what you hear. Combatants will scrutinize your body language and facial expression to determine whom you believe or whose side you're taking. Tap the power of silence. Resolving employee disputes often means knowing when to keep quiet. If you ask a question and do not get a prompt answer, wait for a reply. Don't rush to fill the silence by asking another question or changing the subject. Your patience shows that you expect honest disclosure from both of them, and you will wait until they open up. Withhold your suggestions. An idea might pop into your head as you listen to employees characterize their side of the dispute. Wait to come to the rescue with your proposed solution. Individuals who are angry or hurt often need time to blow off steam before they're receptive to making peace or solving problems. Here's a warning: if tempers flare, radiate calm. Don't mirror the rising tension in the room. If employees see that you're joining the fray, they will unleash even more venom to make themselves heard. Here's a tip: draft a contract that codifies all the steps both employees promise to take to resolve the conflict. Write clearly and specifically so that everyone knows what's expected. Invite both employees to edit your first draft. Give copies of the final contract to both participants so they can hold themselves and each other accountable based on measurable outcomes. Have them sign the contract and shake hands as a peacemaking gesture, and then hold employees responsible for implementing the plan. It's true, the faster you establish common ground, the sooner you'll resolve the conflict. Look for openings to ask, so you can both agree that. If that's impossible, identify shared interests, such as their eagerness to earn promotions or more job responsibilities. When they see that their destinies are intertwined, they're more apt to engage in meaningful conflict resolution.